New Girl may be officially over, but you know what will live on forever. True American, the show's iconic drinking game. True American has been around since the show's first season in 2011, and ever since the best friends first introduced the ridiculous game, fans have been desperate to learn its complicated rules. I mean, Jess' instructions that the game is 50% drinking game, 50% life-size Candyland aren't exactly the most helpful. To help you out, I've broken down how to play New Girl's True American game, because if you're going to play, you've got to do the roommates justice and play it right. As ridiculous as it sounds, True American is actually 50% drinking game, 50% life-size Candyland. The goal of the game is to navigate through spaces on the ground. You can't touch the ground, because the floor is lava, to reach the central king of the castle, a bottle of liquor. Surrounding the king are ponds, or cans of beer that players have to drink before they can reach the king. Whichever player or team takes a drink from the king first wins the game, and probably a lifetime of glory. But before you can win True American, there are a few important steps to go through. Point 1. Create your castle and space. Netflix. You can't start a game without setting up the course, right? The first step is to create the castle, a table with the liquor bottle king and beer can ponds. The bottle should be in the middle of the table with the cans set up in an X shape around it, creating 4 lines of beer that players can easily grab from the corners of the table. There's no set number of how many ponds you need, so if you're in the mood to drink, or you're playing with a lot of people, put out more beer cans, and if you're just in it for the fun, put out less. Next, set up the spaces. These can be anything you're comfortable standing on: pillows, chairs, stools, whatever you have lying around. But remember, the floor is lava, so make sure that there are enough spaces and that they're evenly spread so that players can easily move around without dying. The spaces should also be evenly distributed around the table so that players can access the ponds from any angle. Only 4 of the spaces should actually reach the castle, preferably at the corners where the lines of beer form, because you don't want it to be too easy for players to grab the beer can ponds. 2. Pick teams. Netflix. Know the fun part starts. You don't need to have teams, but if you're playing with a lot of people, it could be helpful. To pick teams, each player holds up a certain number of fingers, 1 to 5, on the count of 3, and players who have the same number will be a team. From there, the rest can easily match up with the person closest to them. 3. Start with a shotgun tip-off. Ray McShaw, FOXAs. With all important races, a shotgun starts off True American. Okay, this is a different type of shotgun. Each player shotguns their beer, and whoever drinks theirs the quickest gets to go first. Start things off, the winner yells, 1, 2, 3. JFK, and everyone replies, FDR, before grabbing a beer pond from the castle. Once you have a beer, you can run to any space to start at, with the exception of the 4 spaces that touch the castle. 4. It's moving time. Jennifer Clayson, Fox. True American is now in full swing. The winner of the shotgun tip-off gets to go first, and after that, turns will move in clockwise rotation. During their turn, each player moves 1 space, and then plays a game of their choosing with everyone. The games are as follows. Game 1. At the count of 3, everyone holds up a certain number of fingers, 1 to 5 again. If you select a number that no one else picks, you can move 1 space. Game 2. The player whose turn it is begins to recite a famous American quote. The player who successfully finishes their quote moves 2 spaces. Game 3, the player whose turn it is names 2 famous American people, locations, or events. The first player to identify how they're connected moves 3 spaces. After the game ends, the turn is over and whoever is next is the clockwise rotation is up 0.5. The end. Patrick McElhenney, Fox. Continue playing until all the beer ponds are empty and one person, or team, reaches the king and takes a sip. But remember, you have to have at least 1 beer in your hands at all times, but no more than 3 beers. If you violate the beer rule or you accidentally touch the lava, you're disqualified, but you can re-enter the game by shotgunning another beer. All in all, True American is a great way to kill a case or 2 with your friends. It seems complicated, but once you know the rules, you'll be crushing beer ponds in no time. Happy drinking, New Girl fans!